Welcome back to my 90% tutorial series. After having just finished the Infecting Cause mission, we are now on the Beacon mission, which is home to some of the most iconic tricks and sequences of the run. Unfortunately, it does take a bit to wrap up though, since this first chapter is mostly auto-scroller, but on the bright side, it's fairly short, so we'll get past it pretty quickly. This level starts off with a short cutscene where BT carries us to the top of a mountain. We then dismount afterward. We want to get ahead of BT right away here because he can block the way for most of this opening section and can really slow you down. So to do so, immediately double jump to this rock on the left and wall jump past him. Right after, you can grab this steep slant on the right to clear the next ledge pretty easily. Then to start this descent section, jump across to this first rock spire and wall run on it. Jump off on the other side and land on this other rock spire lower down. Then from here, you can just slide up through the fog to the control room. And to clarify, none of the movement up until this point needs to be refined too much since this section is an auto-scroller. You just want to be fast enough to hit auto-scroller speed, which can take a bit of practice, and I'll explain in a bit how to check your pace compared to auto-scroller speed. But after all this, you get in front of the control room door, and we're going to shoot all these stalkers with the Spitfire. I usually go from right to left and just tap their backs until they start glowing, which triggers them to start dying. On this middle section, you can skip the stalker farthest to the left since it dies automatically. Then on this left wall, you can again shoot their backs, but the angle is tight, so oftentimes I just kill them normally. Once they're all dead though, this is going to lock in your pace for the auto-scroller, so now we're going to turn around and head back to BT to Embark, and I'll always take a kick off this rock on the left and cloak as I'm entering the fog. This just reduces the damage I would be taking from both the fog and the stalkers shooting at me. But now for actually embarking BT, this part is a little weird. We did the first objective before BT even asks us to do it, which throws the level strip off track and skips a good chunk of BT's dialogue. This can cause a crash if you embark right away in some scenarios. More specifically, this happens because BT is trying to start this caution line while you're embarked. This never happens normally because BT queues up that line as soon as he becomes embarkable. However, killing the stalkers starts a separate dialogue sequence which delays the caution line until after whatever sentence is currently being said. So we need to delay our embark timing so that he starts that line before we finish embarking. To do so, we're going to make use of some audio cues in the dialogue, and there are 3 scenarios for this depending on how fast you did this segment. Scenario 1 will happen when you've gone slow enough that BT becomes embarkable before threat neutralized. In this case, embark as soon as possible. Scenario 2 is when you've done the segment at an okay pace, and BT will become embarkable during the threat neutralized line. In this case, embark after this audio cue. Scenario 3 is going to be the fastest, where BT becomes embarkable during his BT-7274 line. In this case, embark after this audio cue. As far as I know though, it's impossible to embark too early in this last scenario because even on my fastest attempts, BT only becomes embarkable right as the audio cue happens. And this is also how you know you match auto-scroller pace. In this scenario, you should be embarking at 107 on your segment timer. But after all the explanation, we can finally continue on with the rest of the level. As soon as we gain control of BT, we're going to dash forward and left and pick up the Ronin loadout on the ground. Swap to Ronin, then dash and phase dash, which is the Ronin's utility ability, and hold crouch before landing. Then keep dashing toward the control room. When you get close, you can actually walk right up this crash pod to get a dash off of it. But then you can walk onto the elevator. Now as soon as you get to the elevator, swap to Scorch, then put any sort of fire on the ground beneath you. This can be either a gas trap you ignite or a firewall. Disembarking afterward will cause BT to dodge backward out of the elevator. When the elevator finishes raising, he'll be teleported into the dialogue sequence, saving a small amount of time. You can go too early or too late on this, but the timing is incredibly lenient, so you shouldn't have a problem with this if you just get a feel for it. At this point, the level is pretty much over. We're just waiting for the door to the end level trigger to open. In the meantime, replace your non-EVA gun with the L-Star on the ground here. This is going to be useful for a couple of enemy encounters later in the mission. But after that, hold up against this door and just slide up on through when it opens. And that's Beacon 1. Like I said, it's another very short level. The next chapter though is pretty densely packed with a lot of movement. We're finally going to see a lot more action in terms of routing. So when you're ready, I'll see you there. Starting off with the intermediate strats, I'm just going to mention once again that you can use crouch tech throughout all of this intro section. If you remember from the beginner segment, I explained that this intro section is an auto-scroller, so faster movement isn't actually going to save any time. However, it will make it more consistent to match autoscroller speed, as it will give you room for a small error or two in your movement. Lately, I've been doing this route where I take a crouch kick off this first rock spire, then land on this mountain ahead, and drop down and curve right under this overhang where you would usually go. Feels pretty nice to me. Fast forwarding to the Titan segment, there are some small improvements we can make here. Like always, make sure to do no lurch dashes when going off ledges, but there's also a cool movement optimization you can do right after picking up the Ronin loadout. Instead of phase dashing straight off the ledge, you can do a normal dash out, then phase to the right and clip this rock sticking out. This will reset your fall speed and let you keep the phase speed for a bit longer, and looks kinda cool. That's all for the Titan segment though. The last try you might want to opt for at this skill level is going for Prespeed at the end of the level. To set this up, stand over by these pipes on the opposite side of the room. When BT begins his last line, which starts with understood, he'll eventually turn around. You want to wait about a second after he turns, then C-flip off the pipes, crouch kick this wall, and slide hop over to the door. If done right, it should open right as you approach it, and you can get to the trigger a bit faster. That's going to be it for Beacon 1 though. This level is fairly short and simple, so there's no extra strats at all. This is everything. So yeah, thanks for watching, and good luck in the practice.